Hello, friends. This is Chris Matakis, and we created this channel because so many people do not fulfill their potential on and off the mats, and I don't want you to be one of them. I am a Jiu Jitsu black belt, a school owner. I've written 13 books about using Jiu Jitsu as a vehicle for personal development. And today we're going to talk about the greatest lessons I've learned from Pete McHugh. And if you don't know who he is, you will soon. Pete runs what I believe is the largest Jiu Jitsu school in the world, maybe even in the history of the world. He is a beautiful human being who is sharing jiu-jitsu at scale with lots of people. We've been training together since 2008, and I've got three of the biggest lessons I've learned from my boy. And this was the hardest list to come up with so far because Pete and I have had so many shared experiences, and we have been with each other in all the major transitions in life since 2008. But I boiled it down to the big three, and I believe if you apply these three to your life will get better. So, lesson number one, who do you want to be? This is a Pete-ism. So, Pete is tremendously skilled at voluntarily engaging with difficult things that lend themselves to progress. If you follow him on Instagram, on Facebook, he's always in a sauna. He's always in an ice plunge. There's always the kettlebells out back, and he's always challenging himself. And he does so through the lens of who do you want to be? This crazy guy will take a cold shower every morning without fail in the winter because of what it does for his resolve. But the way he gets out of bed and then into the shower first thing in the morning is he wants to be someone who is capable of that. He wants to be someone who does that on a regular basis. He wants to be someone for whom the cold shower is not a worthy challenge. And he's become that person because he constantly asks himself, who do you want to be? And I have borrowed this from Pete. It's been so useful. And I realize there's so much embedded wisdom within this. So when you say, who do you want to be? It implies four big things. It implies that you are not yet fully who you want to be. It implies that you are capable of being that person. And it implies that the bridge between who you want to be and who you are is this resistance-filled endeavor. Therefore, that resistance-filled endeavor is the path to you becoming who you want to be. And finally, it doesn't use shame as the driver, but rather hope, because we all aspire toward great things. And when you ask, who do you want to be? It's not chastising who you are, but it is holding up who you could be. And for me, that's a much more healthy and longevity-based approach to personal development, all out of hope, not out of shame. So that's the first one, asking good questions like who do you want to be, and doing that in all areas of life. Because the second one, the power of the generalist. So Pete and I were talking, it was probably a couple of weeks ago, about if we were Madden players and we had to create ourselves with the attributes. Pete has always been, I'll be 4 to 5 all the way down, and I'll have 4 to 5 attributes in every possible category. I'm not made that way. I've always been kind of like 5 or 0, and that has been a gift and a curse. But Pete is highly competent in nearly everything. He's, as he would say, I think he's a master. He's not a master of any of it, but he's really good at a lot of things. And it's those complementary skill sets that make him such a powerful person. And I believe if you look just at his jiu-jitsu academy, he has world-class jiu-jitsu. He has world-class instruction. He has world-class leadership of humans. He has world-class systems. And he's always on the cutting edge of doing this in social media or doing this with classes. He's at the forefront of the whole game. But I just described like 5 different things he's a black belt in, just in running a school, let alone in the rest of his life. So he has all these complementary skills that go so well together. And I remember listening to a Tony Robbins interview probably a decade ago now that changed the course of my life. He was talking about, your life is only as good as the worst part of your life. That he knows these billionaires that have awful marriages. He knows these guys with incredible marriages and incredible money, but their health is falling apart. And that Tony Robbins has met very few people who could check all those boxes, who are a black belt in all the necessary areas of life. I think Pete's done it. And when I think about, all right, who are the people who have achieved holistic success in all the major areas? Pete comes first, right? He's done it in his health. He's done it as a father. He's done it as a husband. He's done it in his business. He's done it as a martial artist. He's done it in his passions with woodworking. He is demonstrating the power of being a generalist. So that's something that I don't think it's talked enough about, and it's something that we can all use to become a little bit more well-rounded and skilled. And now the final lesson. Maybe this is the biggest lesson. I learned through Pete that there are different kinds of friendships, and there seems to be one friendship that is more worthwhile than most. And it's when the relationship has a three-part dynamic. So when I think of me and Pete, and he has become like a brother to me, is unbelievably tied to my journey. He plays three roles for me. He is a peer, the purple circle. We've been through all the stuff together, but he's also a teacher. He's also always been kind of in the ways of the world, showing me what to do next. But then he's also been a student in ways out of the world, more philosophically, of where I've gotten to kind of share my knowledge and wisdom with him. And I realized that for both of us, we play that tripartite structure. We are peers, we are students, we are teachers. And when you have those three different aspects in a relationship, kind of all woven together and tied, it's a beautiful experience, because it's like you're always serving, you're always getting, you're always learning, you're always teaching. And it's just such a rich experience. And I didn't even realize that that was the nature of our relationship until I created the outline for this video. And that's when I realized, like, oh, that's the power of our friendship, and that it should really be the friendship toward which we all aspire. Because I believe we're all so busy. The friendships that will last are the ones that serve you in multiple ways. And for Pete and me, I'm really grateful that it serves that tripartite structure, which is very rare. So if you have those, you want to hold on to them. So in going through this list, who do you want to be? The power of the generalist, and what's the best kind of friendship? This is aiming at three different things. So I think I can sum up the wisdom I've learned from Pete in aim. What do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Aim wide. Who do you want to be holistically? And aim with. Who do you want to be with? I think if you ask those three questions and you get those right, you put yourself in a pretty great position to succeed. Now, there's only going to be one biggest jiu-jitsu academy in the world, and my boy has done it. But for all of us, whatever our own path is, I think we can kind of glean the wisdom out of this and really think about, who do I want to be? Who do I want to be, not just in my profession, but as a martial artist, as a husband, as a father, as a writer, whatever it is that you pursue. And probably more important than any of that is, who do I want to be with? Because if you surround yourself with the right people and you aim at the right things and you keep aiming, you will inevitably get there. So these are the lessons that I have learned from Pete, amid countless others, but I thought these were worth sharing. Get yourself a friend like Pete, get in the academy, get training, and I'm going to continue to share the biggest lessons I've learned from the best guys in the world I've had the privilege of knowing, all for the month of October. So we're going to keep this rolling. I appreciate you guys joining me, and I will talk to you very soon. Be well.